Hey you guys! With this tutorial I'm going to show you how I'm using the bushing tool as well as changing it in the integrated dropper post. So follow me and I'll show you. So this is actually the specific dropper bushing tool kit from BMC that I'm going to show you, but just first is that I'm not going to show you how I removed the dropper post, because those are really good videos existing already on YouTube, so you will find them. Can add them as well in the link description of the video below. So this kit I received today, so it looks really nice actually. So this is the removal tool. So it is more or less like a long axle with some weights, and on the other side you can remove and install different pieces depending on which seat post you have. I guess different year models as well. What I did was that I removed the round one that was installed from the beginning, but then I took this part, which has the same shape as my bike. So it comes in two different pieces, one that is more or less removed pieces, or it's a hole in it so that you can push in this part, and then you just add the O-ring onto that one. You have spare O-rings in the package as well, or the kit. So then I just put the O-ring on it, put it in there, so it's more or less shaped so that you can install it and get it in, slide in there, and then I just screw it on. How it works is that on the other side of the axle you have an adjuster, so you can tighten the O-ring. So when you screw this one clockwise, you will actually tighten these parts so that the O-ring is expanded. And when it is expanded, and I install it as I will show you into the seat post, it will tighten up against the bushing, and then you can remove it by using the weight. So you will hit it like that. I guess not too much, I haven't done it yet, so not too much to get it out. And you always need to start with the one that is the upper bushing first. It's important. So also I will include the manual as well that BMC has, so you can use that one also with the instructions, but I will show you with this video as well how I'm doing it. So those are the parts, and let's get to the bike. So I will install the removal kit or tool into the seat tube, and now what I will do is that I will tighten. So on the top of here, which you will not see right now, I'm tightening the bolts so that the O-ring will expand. And what it doesn't say actually in the instructions, so I'll have to test that, is that it doesn't say if I should put the O-ring underneath the bushing or on it, but I'm guessing that it should be underneath. So right now I'll just try tapping it. Here we see. So you can actually see already now it is coming up. So we are doing success. So tapping it again. I'm not tapping it too much though. Actually not that much at all. You'll have to try out yourself, but didn't tap it that much. So you can see that it's stuck on just up above the O-ring. So that's the first one. So now going for the second one, which is a bit further down, and you can feel when it's popping beneath the bushing. Tighten the screw to make the O-ring expand. I don't think you need to tighten it too much. Let's see. Here it is coming up. Here we have it. O-ring number 2. So actually I was not sure how much force you would need to have, but I'm not using that much force. and you can feel that it is coming up. You have to push a couple of times to really get it to go out of the C-tube. So that's the second one, quite easy actually. I will just make sure to clean this properly now. Cleaning the C-tube properly out of all the old grease and dirt. So I'm going to use a brake clean and just spray in some of that. So I'm just going to use this one to push it down so I can get some of the paper down and really make sure that I'm getting all the old grease and dirt out of there. Because once again, as I started the video by saying, these dropper posts are really sensitive compared to a lot of others on the market, and therefore I really want to make sure that I'm getting all the grease and dirt out of there. So make sure that you might be doing this a couple of times, once again, to get all the paper out. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to change the removal tool to the installation tool, which for me is this one, the oval one. Looks like this, so I can put on the bushing onto this part of it. So I'll change that one. There we go, so it's installed. Now I'll just have to take my new bushings, which once again is one thinner and one thicker. And very important here that I read up on now is that I will show you on the old bushings. So here is the one that is thinner, so that's the one that is going down into the bottom part of the C-tube. So that has, both of them have a opening on the bushing. So the order that it is going down is the one that is lower into the C-tube. This part that has the opening is going to be on the direction that this is going to be on the back part of the frame. So it's going to point in the direction of backwards, while the thicker one that is going to be in the top part of the C-tube is going to be on the opposite direction. So it's going to have the opening, the cut in the riding direction of the frame. So it's going to be into the front part of the frame. So very important to not miss that detail. So now I've grabbed the installation tool. I have the new thinner one that we are going to start with, that is going to be in the bottom part of the C-tube once again, and we will have to add some grease, and you should add the grease to the outside of the bushing all the way around, not too much, and then you're also going to apply some of the grease to the inside of where the bushing is going to be installed. Okay, so now I applied the grease to the bushing as well as to the frame. And what you will have to do now is, once again, reminding you that the open part or the cut on the bushing, on the one that is going to be lower down, needs to be the opening, the back direction of the frame. So in my case, I'm going to add it like that into the frame. And so I'm going to push it down like this, and the recommendation is that you're going to have to use a rubber hammer. I only have a wooden hammer, so I'll use that and tap on it gently. Make sure that you have it straight and properly into the frame. And what they say, because now I actually can take it out, but it's still in there. So what they say is that you will also feel a difference in when you've added the bushing to the right position. So you will feel a difference in how it's going, I guess, somewhat stop. Now, the sound for me, now I would say that the sound was different for me, and it's hard to see, but at least I don't see the edge anymore of the position of where the bushing should be seated. So I'll just tap a couple of times more, and yeah, for me it feels good, and I can't see the edges, so it must mean that I guess it's on the stop of the bushing where it should be. For me, the sound, why it was different was because it was more of a metal sound. So I guess it puts more pressure onto the actual installation tool now that it's getting stuck onto the right position. So that's the first bushing added with the installation tool. So now we get going with the second bushing installation of the new one, and we will apply grease to this one as well. Same procedure on the outside of the bushing and on the inside of the seat tube. And also same here, reminding you that the opening on the bushing on this case needs to be on the opposite direction. So we need to have it onto the front of the frame, and in this case like that. So yeah, we'll put it onto the installation tool. So making sure that I get it properly installed. There we have it in the right direction. And let's see. And I will grab the wooden hammer, and also making sure that I'm actually keeping it really nice and centered and aligned with the frame. So gently tapping. And you can see, hopefully you can see if I zoom in. Here you can see now, it went in really easily, and the edges of the bushing feels like it's really centered and aligned with the frame and the seat tube. So I'm really satisfied with that. It was actually much easier than what I thought. Okay guys, so now I'm finished with the removal and installation of the new bushings. It was actually much easier than I thought it was. I didn't practice at all, so you guys enjoying my first session of using the tool and installing the bushings, and they are in the right position. Just mentioning as well, in the instructional manual that the BMC has, there is a calibration step as well. But as they mention a bit further down in the instructions, is that you should not do the calibration if you're not experiencing any problems with the actual seat post when you have installed it. So don't do the mistake of doing the calibration before you've tried it out, because the calibration tool might actually expand the bushing a little bit. So you want it to be as tight as possible onto this dropper post. So for me, that means that I'm done with the bushing part. So now I will reinstall the wire to the handlebar controller, and hopefully it will work as it should, because it has not done that before. As well, I hope that you guys found this video useful. If you did, please like the video so it could be spread to others, and so that in the algorithm it gets more relevant to other users as well. And yeah, if you find my videos in general interesting, please subscribe to the channel. And I hope you guys have a great ride, and good luck with your maintenance of your lovely BMC four-stroke bikes. Bye guys!